This Thursday, August 15th edition of the MLB Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Sign up with promo code MLB SGPN to claim your first time deposit offer up to $250 in bonus cash. That's underdogfantasy.com. Make sure you use that promo code MLB SGPN. And we're also brought to you by Rhythm. Rhythm's college football and NFL projections are now live. Claim your 7-day free trial today by going to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/RITHMM. Welcome, everyone, to the MLB Gambling Podcast, part of the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. Here to get into the Thursday MLB betting card for August 15th. Not a big schedule on Thursdays as usual. We have about 7 games on the schedule. Do have pitchers for all the teams except, I believe, the Detroit Tigers. But we'll go through every single game, of course. We'll wrap it up with our lock and dog picks and, of course, our home run picks as well for the Thursday card. But joining me here to help me break everything down happening on the diamond for the Thursday card, got my guy here with me. It's Dylan Rockford. D-Rock, what's going on, my man? How you doing this Wednesday afternoon?
I'm doing well, living the dream. Cashed out some nice tickets early on during the day. I hit there with the Royals at plus money. Cole Ragans is a strikeout prop. So off to a good start. I got the over in that Rockies and Diamondbacks game as well. So 6 runs in 4 innings. So we're looking good. How's your day going?
Yeah, not too bad. I cashed some tennis stuff early on, and then I had a soccer bet that was going today as well. And I was talking to Mal yesterday about EPL kicking off on Friday night and into the weekend here. So if you haven't already checked out Mal and Boz over for the English Premier League podcast, go ahead and do so. They did previews, and they'll get you guys ready for the weekend of the EPL match. I believe.
Did other leagues start today?
No, I think EPL is the one that starts first, and then I think like Germany, the other one that I follow, they're not till, I want to say, till September or like closer to the end of August there. But I know EPL usually kicks off around middle of August, so they'll kick it off here. Friday night is a match, and then Friday and Saturday will be the bulk of the schedule there as well. Still see some conference league play going on for Europe and things like that, but yeah, EPL is the main one that will be kicking off this weekend. Yeah, like you mentioned, we got some day baseball going on right now in the MLB on Wednesday afternoon. I know the Royals took care of business. I know we have the Padres and the Pirates matching up right now as well, like you mentioned, the Rockies and the Diamondbacks. So, of course, there's still a lot of games left here on Wednesday, but we're here for the Thursday schedule. Will be a shorter pod only because we have 7 games, half of what we're used to on the regular day. So let's just get right into it, D-Rock. We got an early start on Thursday featuring your New York Mets. They are wrapping up their series against the Oakland A's. It'll be a 1:10 Eastern start time. Mitch Spence getting the start here for the Oakland A's, and it'll be Jose Quintana for the New York Mets. Looking at the lines for this game, kind of going, let me see, where are the lines for this game? Here we go. I see the Mets are minus 170 on the money line. Oakland A's plus 148 on the money line. Total is set at 8.5 in this game here. D-Rock, what do you got for your Mets hosting the A's?
Yeah, Mets not playing well right now. I know Trev, he's on the A's today, and I don't really blame them. They're not playing well. Lost 4 in a row. Their pitching hasn't been it. They're starting pitching. Their bullpen has continued to struggle. And you know what worries me is that they're struggling against teams I feel like they should be beating. You know, they couldn't score. They couldn't score to save their life on the road trip against the Mariners. Hitting hasn't been a real thing for them as well. But for this matchup, I do like Quintana. He has been better at home this season, but we've seen him. He's given up his fair share of runs recently as well. A's past games, they've been swinging the bat well. And on the other side, going for them, Mitch Spence. On the road, he gives up anywhere from 2 to 6 runs per outing. So not really someone I want to back. I don't want to back either team, if I'm being honest. I saw it opened up Mets minus 152 up to minus 168. I do think the Mets are the right side. Maybe put them in a parlay. I'm not really a parlay kind of guy, but I think we see some runs here. It's going to be a nice afternoon in Queens. I made my total 9.1. If you still could get an 8.5, I would take the over. That's what I got. I see 9s trickling in. I still like it over, but I think we're going to see some runs here, so I'd take the over.
Yeah, Quintana coming off a rough start against the Seattle Mariners last Thursday. He did go 6 2/3, gave up 5 earned runs, 8 strikeouts. Walks are a little bit of a concern for him as well. He's allowed, let's see here, 13 walks over his last 5 starts. And like you mentioned, it's really been the offense that hasn't showed up for him over the last 2 starts, at least, where it's been combined 2 runs of support for Jose Quintana. But I think if there was something for the Mets to get out of the kind of the offensive funk that they are in right now, possibly could be facing Mitch Spence here. He's been pretty decent over his last 4 starts, but like you mentioned, it's where the road numbers really jump off for him. 12 starts on the road, 7 starts on the road this season, 12 appearances overall. He has an ERA close to 5, 4.96. He's allowed 25 earned runs in 45 1/3 innings pitched. And of note as well, since this is the first game, it is a day game. Mitch Spence has struggled in that area as well. 5 starts, 8 appearances overall during the day, 2-2 with a 6.06 ERA. So this could possibly be a spot where the Mets offense does break out against Mitch Spence and the Oakland A's. All right, getting over to the next game on the schedule here, we'll go over to the Seattle Mariners. They are wrapping up their series against the Detroit Tigers. I do see for the Seattle Mariners, it will be Bryce Miller. Don't see a pitcher just yet for the Detroit Tigers. D-Rock, do you see anything different for the Tigers or anybody projected?
No, it's undecided. I looked at multiple ESPN action. I looked through multiple things. I can't find anything. Should be a bullpen game, I think. It's undecided right now, but it's weird that they have lines up, I feel like, without a starting pitcher.
Yeah, we do have lines right now. The Mariners are favored minus 148 in this game, like we mentioned, TBD for the Tigers, but plus 126 on the money line for them. Total is set at 8. Obviously, not much we can handicap here with no pitcher for the Detroit Tigers, but for Bryce Miller on the season, we can briefly discuss him coming off a really, really good start against the New York Mets on the season, 9-7 with a 3.46 ERA. And the spots that he does get into trouble is on the road. And we take a look at his home and road splits. 13 home starts he's made this season for the Seattle Mariners, 5-3 with a 2.09 ERA. On the road, 10 starts, 4-4 with a 5.37 ERA. So more than double his ERA and the amount of runs he's given up on the road in less innings pitched. During the day, 8 starts, 4-2 with a 4.00 ERA. So I don't know if you trust the Tigers offense, maybe you got to look at a first 5 team total for the Tigers. They could possibly get a couple off of Bryce Miller here. I don't really trust him on the road. Like D-Rock mentioned, it's probably going to be a bullpen day. And I think for the rest of the season, we just don't know who's going to be starting for the Tigers, possibly closer to game time. And that's kind of been the theme for them over the past week plus for that Tigers team here. So, do you have anything else to add for this game here, D-Rock, for the Mariners Tigers?
I mean, if it stays at an 8, I kind of would look towards the over. I mean, to be honest, I think it, like I said, should be a bullpen type game for the Tigers. But Bryce Miller, he doesn't really have the best road numbers. 5.37 ERA, walks are high, batters hitting over 250 off of him. And surprisingly, both teams have been scoring some runs. Tigers literally the other night just scored 15 runs. And, we do like to take the under at Mariners games at home, but on the road, overs have been profitable. 31-24 towards the over for the Mariners on the road. And at home for the Tigers, 32-25 towards the over. So regardless of who's going for the Tigers, I do think we might be able to see some runs here with the bullpen and Bryce Miller not doing that well on the road. So maybe look towards an over.
Yep. Couldn't talk you off of that for sure. All right, before we continue the conversation here for the MLB card on Thursday, let me tell you guys about the Sports Gambling Podcast with Sean and Ryan. They've launched their 32 NFL team previews, and they're giving out a $500 circuit futures for listeners as well. Plus, the EPL returns, so make sure to check out the Soccer Gambling Podcast and the Premier League Gambling Podcast for all your footy fix. And make sure you guys subscribe wherever you do get your podcast and on the SGPN app. All right, let's keep it rolling here. Next game on the schedule will go to a 2:10 Eastern start time. The Los Angeles Dodgers, they are wrapping up their series against the Milwaukee Brewers. Jack Flaherty getting the start here for the Dodgers, and it'll be Tobias Myers for the Milwaukee Brewers. Looking at the lines for this game, I am currently seeing that the Dodgers are a minus 135 road favorite here, plus 115 on the money line for the Milwaukee Brewers. Total is set at 8 in this game here. D-Rock, what do you got for Dodgers and Brewers?
Yeah, like I said, I do think it's going to be Flaherty because I know it was TBD for a little bit during the day, but I made the Dodgers a minus 145 favorite here. Tobias Myers, he's been really good recently at home. I know these two teams are usually involved in a lot of high-scoring games, but with these two pitchers on the mound, I think we might actually see a lower-scoring game. Dodgers, they're on fire right now, 8-2 in their last 10. Getting Mookie back helps. Shohei is just continuing to rake the ball. I just don't see them losing right now, regardless of how good the Brewers are at home and how good Tobias Myers has been. They have lost 3 straight. They're not really scoring a bunch of runs either. And when you play the Dodgers, I feel like you have to be able to score runs. If you don't, you're going to lose. You might get blown out as well. And Dodgers actually hit better on the road statistically. So anything under a minus 145, like you said, minus 135, I would play the Dodgers here. I think that's a fair play.
Yeah, I think so too. I think this is a time where you really want to back the Dodgers here. And again, that NL West race has really tightened up. And, like you mentioned, they got Mookie Betts back on Monday. He hit a home run in a second at bat. Freddie Freeman came back as well. So those top 3 guys are intact now for the LA Dodgers. I know they're waiting on the return of Max Muncy for him to come back. But I think right now would be the time to start backing the Dodgers, whether it's on the run line or whether it's on their team totals. But like you mentioned, Jack Flaherty coming over, I think this has been a great pickup for this Dodgers team, right? With all the injuries that they have dealt with on their pitching rotation. They got Kershaw back. He had a really good outing in his last start. Flaherty did get into a little bit of trouble in his last start, 5 2/3 against the Pittsburgh Pirates. Gave up 4 earned runs, but did have 10 strikeouts in that game. But when you have this type of offense backing you, I just think that you're going to be able to win ball games regardless of maybe if you give up 3-4 runs in that start. Tobias Myers on the season, having a really good season, 6-5 with a 2.79 ERA. Coming off an absolutely incredible outing against the Cincinnati Reds, 7 1/3, 0 earned runs, 9 strikeouts in that game. He hasn't allowed more than 2 earned runs over his last 5 starts. In fact, over his last 5 starts, he's only allowed a combined 4 earned runs in those games. So this is going to be the ultimate test for him, right? Like we mentioned, and Dylan, you mentioned that this offense with Mookie Betts coming back, I think this will be a good test for us to find out if Tobias Myers is going to be part of the future, I guess we should say, for the Brewers and that pitching rotation. So this should be a pretty good pitching matchup. But I still lean with the Dodgers side here. Again, I just think the offense is better, and Jack Flaherty right now is in good form right now as well. All right, let's keep it rolling here. The next game on the schedule will go over to the Bay Area. We've got the Atlanta Braves and the San Francisco Giants as they will wrap up their series. Pretty good pitching matchup here. We got Max Fried on the mound here for the Atlanta Braves. It'll be Logan Webb for the San Francisco Giants. It's minus 110 on the books on each side on the money line. Total is set at 7 in this game here, D-Rock. What do you think about the Braves and the Giants?
Yeah, small play on the Giants here. I did make them a minus 125 favorite. It's the old Logan Webb at home angle we love to play, but it's really a thing. He's just a totally different pitcher at home than he is on the road. He's only had 1 poor start at home this season. It was against the Blue Jays of all teams. So outside of that game, he's played great. He's pitched great. And he already has a win over this Braves club back in early July where he looked great. And that was on the road, surprisingly enough. So I just don't trust this Braves team. They're too inconsistent right now. I don't know what's going on with them. Giants, they've actually played recently better. I know they've lost a few in a row, but I feel like they've been playing better baseball. And Max Fried, last 2 starts in August have not looked good for him, just giving up a ton of runs. So I'm going to fade him in this spot, and I'm going to take the Giants here. I think Logan Webb continues to deal at home. I like the short price.
Yeah, Max Fried, like you mentioned, just not in good form right now. He has been better on the road, thus far this season. And he's been pretty good in his career against his Giants team as well. He faced them twice last season, gave up 5 earned runs in 11 2/3 innings, but he's had 8 appearances in his career against this Giants team, 4-0 with a 2.40 ERA. And we keep mentioning that we're just kind of waiting for this offense of the Braves to turn it around, but they're just missing too many key bats in that everyday lineup for this team for them to produce runs like we saw last season. So and you mentioned, right, Logan Webb at home. That's always, or not always, been the angle, but it's something that we've talked about a lot on the podcast here. He's had a pretty good season, 10-8 with a 3.32 ERA, coming off, 3 great starts over his last 3 starts. Again, it was against the A's, the Nationals, and the Tigers. But you pitch who's in front of you. You take a look at his numbers at home this season: 6-3 with a 2.49 ERA. Has great historical numbers against the Braves as well. 3-0 with a 2.98 ERA, 41 strikeouts of 5 walks. I think this could be a slugfest. I'm sorry, not a slugfest. I think that runs will be at a premium in this game. I couldn't talk you off a first 5 under in this game or full game under, something similar to what we saw when we saw Chris Sale and Blake Snell. I think it was the first game of this series. So under 7 for me, and I agree with you. I would look at the Giants side here on the money line for them right now, minus 110 currently over on Bookmaker for this game. All right, before we continue the conversation here for the Thursday games, let me tell everyone about our friends over at Underdog Fantasy. If you go 8-0 on Underdog Fantasy, you can win 325 extra entry or play fantasy football the right way with their Best Ball Mania. Best Ball Mania is live with $15 million in prizes, and Underdog just launched their season-long college football projections, higher and lower for your favorite college football players. And you can now use specials and boosts on all flex entries. So sign up today with promo code MLB SGPN to claim your special pick and first-time deposit offer. Up to $250 in bonus cash. That's UnderdogFantasy.com. Make sure you use that promo code MLB SGPN. All right, let's keep it rolling here. We're getting into, I believe, the evening slate now with a 6:35 Eastern start time. Battle of the AL East teams. The Boston Red Sox, they are in Baltimore to take on the Orioles. Nick Pivetta getting the start here for the Boston Red Sox, and it'll be Zach Eflin for the Baltimore Orioles. Looking at the lines for this game, the Orioles are a minus 140 home favorite here. Plus 120 on the money line for the Boston Red Sox. Total is at 9 in this game here. D-Rock, what do you think about the Sox and the Orioles?
Yeah, I'm going to take another total. Give me the over 8.5. I've had a lot of totals today, but over 8.5, minus 105. I made my total 9.4. I think we're going to see out of these two stars, they both give up their fair share of runs. Eflin, he's given up 2+ runs in 4 of his last 5 starts. In 2 of those 3 starts, the Orioles flew over this total. So in general, Eflin has just been in a lot of high-scoring games. If you look at his game log, he's just been in a bunch of high-scoring games. He only had 1 start against the Red Sox. He did give up 3 runs, but they're on the road. The Red Sox rake. For whatever reason, they just play better baseball away from Fenway. I don't like this spot for Eflin. I do think the Red Sox here are live, and the over for the Red Sox last 10 games, 8-1-1. And they've gone over this number in 5 straight games. So I think we're going to see a high-scoring game, and if we do, I do lean the Red Sox here as well.
Yeah, Nick Pivetta just recently hasn't been in good form right now. He did have a better start, I should say, over his last start, which was against the Rangers. 4 2/3, 2 earned runs, 5 strikeouts. Had a pretty good one against Seattle. Prior to that, he gave up 7 in Colorado, 4 against the Oakland A's. And just kind of looking at his splits, I would say he's been a better pitcher on the road this season as well. He struggled at Fenway Park for whatever reason. 5.27 ERA. Has been better at on the road. 3.67. But like you mentioned, everything about Zach Eflin, it's just, I really didn't like the move for the Orioles. I thought they should have maybe been a little bit more aggressive in getting someone else. But he hasn't been too bad. I think that they can give up a couple. Both these guys can give up a couple runs early on. If we look at a first 5 over, couldn't talk you off of that. I think there is some value here on the Red Sox, though. Nick Pivetta, again, for whatever reason, just does pitch better on the road thus far this season. So Red Sox at the plus money price here. Excuse me. And also the over this season. Over in this game here for the Boston Red Sox. Gio bringing up a great point. Kind of want to go back to that. What he mentioned about the Braves there, that they've been striking out at a very, very high rate, especially against lefties. I know Logan Webb is a right-handed pitcher, but they are just absolutely struggling right now. Just even making contact, which is, it's crazy to see for this Atlanta Braves team.
Real quick, Munaf. Yeah, Gio actually made another good point in the chat, talking about kind of breaking even or going plus minus the past few days. I'll say this. I agree. I think the books have been sharp. And usually during the beginning of the season, you and I and the boys, we usually talk about it in our chat, but we usually find these lines where we could take advantage of, the bookmakers not being as sharp as they are. But when it's just baseball going on, that's all they really focus on. Yeah, obviously they got tennis, soccer starting up, but when they just have baseball, these lines are extremely sharp. So I'll say that. And I'll also say, what's helped me is getting the numbers early, like doing the show, obviously 24 hours before. Yes, there are going to be some hiccups and changes here and there, but getting the number at least 20 hours before, the line can move 20 to 30 cents and all the value is gone. So I would advise, if you really like a team, like how we talk about, I would take it now. Honestly, I wouldn't wait, because you're never going to get that number again.
100%. And I think that, I think those lines are going to go back to not being as sharp once like college 100%. Football and NFL starts, right? Because that's their bread and butter. That's where all the bettors flock to the books to bet those numbers, where they're not going to be paying attention to the MLB. And I think we had Dave on the consig. I want to say this was last season, the season prior, and he says September is the month of dogs. That if you just blindly bet dogs in the month of September, when you look back at your numbers at the end of September, you'll be shocked to see that you're going to be up plus money if just taking dogs in the month of September. So I think those are great points that you guys bring up, not only the chat and also you there, D-Rock. So yeah, this is probably a tough stretch right now. We have one more week until college football starts. So I think that that's a great point. Try to get those numbers early for the baseball games at least. All right, let's keep it moving here. We'll get over to the next game on the schedule. 2 games left here. We've got the Washington Nationals. They are in Philadelphia to take on the Phillies. Mitchell Parker getting started here for the Nationals, and it'll be Zach Wheeler for the Philadelphia Phillies. Looking at the lines for this game, the Phillies are a minus 240. Home favorite here, plus 200 on the money line for the Nationals. Total is set at 8 in this game here. D-Rock, what are you thinking about Mitchell Parker versus Zach Wheeler?
Yeah, another tough game to get value. I felt like I did make the Phillies over a $2 favorite here at home, but this team is just so hard to watch right now. I don't know what's going on with them, but they can't get their offense going for whatever reason. So even at my numbers made them a big favorite. I just can't take the Nationals either side, Phillies or the Nationals. I lean over 8 at minus 115. My total came out to 8.3. I don't love it. The Nationals, they have gone over this total in 4 of their past 5 games, in which Mitchell Parker on the road, he's not the best. I do think this is a good spot for the Phillies to get going. So maybe look towards a team total over for the Phillies. I know that's very hard right now, but his last few starts on the road have not been good, and they've all been shootouts recently for Mitchell Parker. So, I think maybe we could see a shootout here, but I don't really love this game, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, I think for me, at least when I've backed Zach Wheeler, it's been on the run line, and he's been very, very profitable for me. But it's the fact that, can I really trust the offense right now for the Phillies? And this just seems like a theme for the entire NL East right now, right? I mean, we talked about the Mets struggles, the Braves struggles, the Phillies. They're just in that stretch of the season where the offense just struggles, and those are kind of just the ebbs and flows of the baseball season, because it is so long with 106 games, right? So I think with Zach Wheeler being at home, if you're able to find a run line price, at least for me, it's been good. I think that he can go along well here. It could be like a 4-2, 4-1 type of victory for the Philadelphia Phillies here. But again, Zach Wheeler has just been really, really good this season. He has had a couple games in there where he hasn't looked, quite as sharp. But again, those are, like I mentioned, just the ebbs and flows of pitchers looking unstoppable and unhittable. And then there's gonna be times where like he gave up 7 earned runs to the New York Yankees back on July 29th. But over his last 2 starts, it's been Zach Wheeler, 14 innings, 2 earned runs, 17 strikeouts, 3 walks. So yeah, I look at the run line here for the Philadelphia Phillies with Zach Wheeler.
The Marlins actually might have the best bats going in the NL East. Even Jake Berger. I mean, he can't not hit a home run. He said, what, 5 straight games? Something like that?
I think so. Yeah, it's been crazy. And
that's when you know that all the teams are down bad, when the Marlins have the best bats in the division.
100%. I think when we did our season long stuff, as far as like stat leaders and awards and stuff, I want to say Mal had Jake Berger to lead the league in home runs. I believe this was some type of absurd price, but yeah, absolutely. All right, let's get going here. Last game on the schedule, it's going to be the Minnesota Twins. They are headed to Arlington to take on the Texas Rangers. Bailey Ober, he was going to start on Wednesday, but I think they pushed him back just an extra day, maybe because he hasn't been historically very good against the Kansas City Royals. But he's going to get the start on Thursday evening against the Texas Rangers. Cody Bradford is going to start here for the Rangers in this game. Looking at the lines for this matchup, I am seeing, let me scroll down here. The Twins are a -125 road favorite here, +105 on the money line for the Rangers. Total is at 8.5 in this game here. D-Rock, Twins, Rangers, what do you got?
Yeah, I only made the Twins a -115 favorite here, so I do think there's some value here with the dog. I know most people really don't think the highest of Cody Bradford, but he has been solid at home for the Rangers. He's only given up more than 2 runs 1 time this season, and the Rangers have won all 4 starts he's made at home. They actually usually give him run support, which is surprising this year, but they usually give him run support that he needs. And against Bailey Ober, who really isn't the best on the road, Twins, they've lost 2 of his last 3 starts on the road, including 1 to the White Sox. So I don't know. Even if he does go well, I just don't trust this Minnesota bullpen right now. 3rd worst bullpen in the league since All-Star break. They used a bunch of their guys on Wednesday in a loss to the Royals. I think they're taxed right now. And I think this could be a spot where the Rangers sneak out a win. So home puppy, I'm going to take him. It's also going to be my dog of the day. I'm going to take the Rangers here. I know it's a bold move, but I do like them.
Yeah, Bailey Ober, I mean, just look at his splits, right? It's just been it's a night and day difference. He's been dominant at target field for the Minnesota Twins in Minnesota, or Minneapolis, I should say. But on the road, it's been a different story for him. And looking at the Rangers side here with Cody Bradford, you mentioned it. He's been respectable, at least I should say, thus far this season. 4-0 with a 3.60 ERA. Last start was against the Yankees, 5 innings, 1 earned run, 7 strikeouts. So he'll give you a little bit of length. I think he should go at least 5 innings here against his Minnesota Twins team. I think the Rangers are the side here. I don't want to trust Bailey Ober on the road, like I mentioned. It's really a 9-day difference for him. And this Minnesota Twins team, they just really rely on the home run ball. And I'm not sure you're going to be able to do that really against Cody Bradford in this game here. So I agree with you on the Rangers side here, taking them on the money line. All right, so that is the last game of the schedule on Thursday. Only 7 games for the Thursday card. TVDBJ pointing out for his last game here that Bradford is a left-handed pitcher, and the Minnesota Twins bottom 5 versus left-handed pitching over the last 3 weeks. So that's a great point.
Call.
That he brings up there as well. All right, before we get into our picks for the Thursday card here, D-Rock, let me remind everybody about our friends over at Rhythm. If you haven't already checked out Rhythm, they've already have you guys covered for NFL Week 1 and college football Week 0. Their projections for the football season are now live, and you can make your own models right now on Rhythm. Create your own winning betting model, or let Rhythm do the heavy lifting for you so you don't have to worry about it, right? You decide what stats matter to you the most, and Rhythm builds a custom model around that, or like I mentioned, just let them do it for you. Rhythm uses AI projections from MIT's data scientists, and Rhythm already has you covered, like I mentioned, for NFL Week 1 and college football Week 0. So claim your 7-day free trial by going to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/RITHMM. And hey, don't forget to enter the greatest handicapping contest happening right now at the Circa Sports. Circa Sports is back with Circa Survivor, and Circa Millions giving away $16 million in guaranteed prizes. Imagine the regret you'll feel if you win your office survivor pool but didn't enter the Circa Survivor. And if you don't have a trip booked for Las Vegas yet before football, Ultimate Contest Weekend is a great time to go out. Hang with Ryan and Sean and enjoy some of the open bar events at the greatest sports book in the world from August 22nd through August 24th, and use promo code SGP15 to save 15% on your hotel room for sign-up weekend. Sign up in person at Circa Sports between now and September 7th and use a proxy to play from anywhere. We even have a deal with a proxy. Go to proxy.footballcontest.com to save you $50 off with promo code SGP. Again, proxy.footballcontest.com to save yourself $50 off with promo code SGP. All righty, let's get into our lock and dog picks here for the Thursday card, and then we'll do our home run picks thereafter. D-Rock, you want to lead us off with your picks?
Yes, like I said, the Rangers are going to be my dog of the day. Love them. I think Cody Bradford is good. Lefty, Trevor just mentioned, Twins don't hit him. Their bullpen is taxed. I just don't like this spot for the Twins. Yeah, give me the Rangers as my dog. And as my lock, I was going to take an over, but I'm going to go back to it. My heart tells me the Dodgers aren't going to lose. Brewers, they're not playing really well right now. I think this is a short number. And like you said, they're getting healthier at the right time. And this is just not a team you want to get in front of right now. So at the short number, I do think this is a good spot for them. So I'm going to take the Dodgers here with Jack Flaherty on the mound, -135 as my lock.
All right. All right, for my lock, I'm going to go to that game between the Braves and the Giants and take the under 7.5. You can get that right now over on Bet Online. We talked about it. I mean, Max Fried has been great in his career against the Giants. Logan Webb has been great against the Braves as well. He's been great at home for the Giants as well. And again, the Atlanta Braves offense, we talked about at volumes, just really struggling right now. And I think that, we'll see something similar to what we saw in that first game when it was Chris Sale versus Blake Snell, that it'll just be a lower scoring game. So I like the under 7.5 as my lock between the Braves and the Giants. For my dog, I don't see a run line number for the Phillies right now, but I'm pretty sure that'll probably be at a minus price. I think it's going to be the Red Sox for me. It's just a pure value play. We talked about how great the Red Sox are on the road this season. Yeah. Nick Pivetta has been better on the road. I know in recent form he hasn't been very good, but he has pretty solid numbers in his career against the Baltimore Orioles as well. And Zach Eflin, we mentioned it. Yeah, he's had put together some good starts here for the Orioles, but he's not a pitcher that I really want to trust, especially with a price north of -130 for Zach Eflin, I should say. So I'll take the Red Sox on the money line +124 as my dog of the day, which leads us to our home run picks for the Thursday card. D-Rock, you want to lead us off?
Yeah, I'll lead us off, and I'm going to go to the game between the Brewers and the Dodgers. I was going back and forth. Gio even makes a good point. Alex Berkman, he was up there, 4 straight home runs as well. I was looking for Jake Berger. I was looking for the Marlins to play as well. But I'm going to go with Shohei Ohtani to hit a home run. He's hit a home run in 2 straight games versus the Brewers this week. He hit another one earlier back in early July against the Brewers as well. And 29 of his 37 home runs have come against righties. He's hitting over 300 against righties on the year. And plus, Tobias Myers, he does give up the deep ball from time to time as well. 13 of his home runs have come in 18 starts. 8 of those 13 have come when pitching at home. So he does give up more home runs at home. I think Shohei stays hot here. He's been seeing the ball well. I think, and with my luck, he'll probably hit one tonight and not one tomorrow. So, yeah, I'm going
that exact thing happened to me and Malcolm when we were doing the pod yesterday. I picked 2 Dodger players. I was going between Ohtani and Will Smith for the night games, and both of those guys hit a home run on Tuesday. for the Dodgers. So hopefully maybe they can repeat it and get me to the window again for the home run picks. But as far as Thursday night goes, D-Rock, I'm gonna go with Marcus Semien. We both like the Rangers side here. I think Bailey Ober, we mentioned the numbers. He hasn't been very good on the road this far this season for the Minnesota Twins. And if you just take a look at his career numbers for Marcus Semien, he's had 9 at-bats for the Rangers, in his career, I should say, against Bailey Ober. He's 5 for 9. 2 of the 5 hits have gone over the fence. He's batting .556, 600 on base percentage, and slugging it at .1333 in his career against Bailey Ober. So I think that maybe he can get again to Bailey Ober in this game. So I'm going to go with Marcus Semien as my pick for the home run ball for the Thursday card. That's going to do it for this edition of the MLB Gambling Podcast. Shorter than usual. Wrapped it up in about 36, 37 minutes here with, again, only 7 games on the card for Thursday. But D-Rock, anything else you want to mention before we get out of here?
No, I think you hit the group chat up talking about our subscribers. Are we close to 2K yet? If not,
let's
subscribe.
Let's get an updated number here since we have some time. The last time I checked, we're at 1994. Give me a minute here as it loads here. But yeah, just a reminder, we're on the march to 2,500 before the season is over. So if you're already subscribed, tell a friend, and D-Rock, the updated number right now, 2,000. We've hit 2,000 for our subscribers for the MLB Gambling Podcast. So 500 more if you're already subscribed. I appreciate every single one of you that is subscribed. Shout out to our chat, man, the usual suspects in there. TVDBJ, he's been here since day one. Gio, I know Randy pops in as well. We saw Raymond pop in here as well.
Where's Insano been?
That's what I just mentioned. I need to find out where he's at because he's usually in here. Maybe he's busy with life and work. He's not able to
probably
pop
sad
in.
about Jazz Chisholm. Let's be honest.
Yeah, and maybe them losing us a minus 300 favorite as well. So
that's what Latte told me to put a parlay in and said, "Oh, just do the Mets and the Yankees," and they wind up both losing. What do you think?
All right. We'll be back tomorrow in some form or fashion. I think it's Mal and D-Rock tomorrow. Same time, same place to look out for us. Then make sure you guys follow Dylan on Twitter at Rock with 2Ks24. You can follow me there as well at SportsNerd824. Again, on the march to 500 more subscribers for the MLB Gambling Podcast. So if you haven't already subscribed, do us a favor, go to youtube.com. Do just type in MLB Gambling Podcast and just hit that subscribe button. And if you haven't already, leave us a rating and review for the pod as well, whether it's on Spotify, whether it's on Apple, where you do get your pods and listen to us. So appreciate you guys. Again, making this show grow from day one with myself and Mal. We were just talking about that last week, but appreciate every single one of you. All right, we'll be back tomorrow. Till then, good luck with your bets. Let's break these books off and let it ride.